Hi everyone, this is Adriana, the occupational therapist, and today we're actually going to be talking about the 10 benefits, long-term benefits of baby-led weaning. So let's go ahead and dive into it now. The first and most important benefit of baby-led weaning is it decreases picky eating habits later on in life. A great little fact, and also research-based, is that little ones who are typically developing kiddos are 15% likely to possibly have picky eating habits later on, and little ones who are developmentally delayed have 45% chance of also being picky eaters as well as they get older. The second benefit, and also very important, is babies start to learn satiety and they also start learning their own hunger cues. So what that means is that little ones are listening to their more internal cues rather than having someone putting a spoon in front of them or basically putting the spoon inside of their mouth. So they don't know how full they are, or they don't know when they're actually hungry. So baby-led weaning is very effective because it helps the baby actually understand more of their hunger cues and satiety, so meaning when they're actually full. So that's an awesome benefit. The third and also super important benefit is their oral motor muscles, meaning their oral skills, are also developing as they do baby-led weaning because the pieces are cut in long pieces, and this is when they start realizing how to explore the food and as well as how to explore their mouth. So we have to remember that sucking is actual reflex. So sucking on a bottle, suckling on a bottle, both of them are actual reflexes. This actually goes away at 4 months. And after 4 months, that's when they start sucking and drinking from a bottle, as well as learning how to feed, especially at 6 months. So that's why it's very important to not stick around with only pureed food, but give them a variety of foods, especially if you're doing baby-led weaning. And baby-led weaning is very powerful because it actually teaches the baby how to munch and chew. And these are skills that they're actually going to have in the long term, because munching and chewing is actually a learned skill. Okay. Now, the fourth benefit, which is super awesome and great, is they're actually learning how to utilize their hand muscles, so their fine motor skills. So they start strengthening more of their intrinsic muscles, which are little muscles in between the fingers, and this will help them later on develop more of their fine pincer grasp skills, as well as their grasping skills with handwriting. And I know I'm kind of stretching it a little bit, but these are foundational skills that are very important that they're actually doing when it comes to grasping food, which are long strips like baby-led weaning. So they're actually practicing their hand skills as well. All right, we're almost halfway through. We're on number 5. Let's go ahead and talk about the sensory system. Now that comes from the central nervous system, from the brain down to the spinal cord, over to the peripheral nerves. So what this means is basically that the baby is actually utilizing all of their 5 senses. And we have 2 other senses as well, which is the vestibular system plus the proprioceptive system. But in this case, I'm not going to expand too much on it. I will expand on it in another video as well. But I think it's very important to talk about the importance of the sensory exploration, because they're actually feeling the wet food on their hand. They're feeling the different textures also in their mouth. It's either a hard texture, a cold texture, or even a hot texture. I should say warm texture. But those are different variability of skills that they're actually learning with touching the food, seeing the food, even listening to themselves when they're actually trying to munch or chew. So all of these different skills in the central nervous system, they're actually learning how to manipulate this particular food through their sensory experiences. Now that we're actually halfway, please, please, please don't forget to subscribe to my channel down here, as I will be talking more and more about all these different topics. So just a mini short break. One other benefit, which I thought was very, very interesting, is the exclusivity of breastfeeding for those moms that are exclusively breastfeeding from 0 to 6 months. Moms actually are much more likely to continue on breastfeeding when they are introducing little ones to baby-led weaning. So I thought that was super interesting, and that is also another benefit. The seventh benefit, and I thought it was super interesting, is that they are more likely to be exposed to more of their nutritious foods. So either fruits, protein, vegetables, high fats, healthy fats. So I thought that was super interesting and very important as well. Another really nice benefit, which is number 8, is little ones actually sit down with their family members and they actually observe more of their family members feeding and eating. And once they end up learning, and while you are modeling with them while you're feeding, they start to imitate the same type of skill, and you're also introducing them to the same type of table foods, which leads to number 9, which is super easy way of exposing them and preparing food, because you just are basically whatever food you're eating, you're also giving it to your baby as well. So you don't have to do extra work on this side. So you're just basically exposing them to the same types of foods that you and your family are eating, which is kind of nice. Last but not least, I promise, is number 10. And this is basically when they're not feeling a lot of pressure, meaning both the baby and mother, and they're actually creating a really beautiful bond. So meaning we are respecting the baby's cues a lot better because the baby's actually feeding him or herself, and you're just basically providing the food there for your baby. So building that trust with yourself as a caregiver, as well as with food, is very, very important, especially to establish those different types of skills now, because later on in life, we don't want them to have a really bad experience with solid foods. We need to look at more of the mental health perspective of feeding as well, instead of just like the musculature component to things. But we also have to look at mental health, not only for the baby, but also for the mother as well. All right, now that we are done with our 10 awesome benefits that are all research-based, and I'm hoping that you guys really love this video and you share it with other family members as well, go ahead and you're more than welcome to go ahead and email me over here on this email address, or go ahead and place some comments as well, and go ahead and subscribe as well to my email list as well. So I will go ahead and, again, we'll put our email here, and I'd love to contact you, and we'll have a really nice discussion over any different questions that you have on overall development, and we'll continue on here. So let's go ahead and keep networking and building up a community.